really blue now. Probably more blue than I even wanted. Now I'm going to want to change the diffuse color in things. I'm just going to leave this how it is. And mostly I just don't need ambient light that much. I just wanted to make sure I wouldn't have to set it for each mesh. Great. Okay, so I have the x-axis here, which is great. I'm going to add in the y-axis. And I'm just going to change this from axis material to x-axis material, since the other axes are going to have different colors. This is the x-axis. The other ones are going to look pretty similar. Maybe... Okay, so let's see. Change this to a Y, that to a Y, that to a Y. And then I'm going to add the Y-axis too. Okay. I borrowed... Oh wait, I'm not sure why... Oh, this should be a Y. Okay, so now they're right on top of each other. What I want to do from here is, I guess, rotate it around the Z-axis by pi over 2. Okay, good. And then I'll just change its color. Okay, so now I have X and Y. And then I'm going to want to add the Z. Now, really, this probably shouldn't be done with 3D objects. It would be nicer to do this with just lines. However, the only implemented lines right now were written by Grant, and they don't conform to regular OpenGL rules, so... Wait, why'd that rotate there? Oh, I rotated around the Z-axis. Okay, so that, and then make it blue. Fusion 05, what's going on? Okay, so now I have all the axes visible. Cool. Yeah, this makes sense, because by default the camera's default this camera's situated like this. So what I probably want to do is move into the first octant and do all the position all the stuff here. Well, actually, having the x-axis going this way might look kind of weird. Is this a tutorial? Yeah. Maybe what I want... Yeah, positioning things in the first octant might actually look kind of weird. I think this octant, whatever number octant this is probably actually the most natural. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. And then I'm gonna change the objects so that they're consistent. They're using the same coordinate space as the one that's being pictured here. So these three meshes, translate them. Okay, here I get the width, height, and depth. I want, this should be, oh, this is width, height, and meshes. Translate them. Okay, here I get the width, height, and depth. I want, this should be, oh, this is width, height, and depth. Where's the projection? This should be width, height. Right here, and then depth. And now something's up, I can tell. The width is this, the height. Okay, here where it says height, this should be depth, shouldn't it? The width, height, and depth here. I think this box is oriented in the wrong way. Let me go back to where it was, here. So now it's a perfect 1x1. And what I want is to have the width be basically this. The height should be what? Should be 8. Yeah. Then the depth I have here going in the direction of the y-axis, not the z-axis. So that's actually kind of a problem, I think. Width, height, depth. Is there a problem with this? Get 3D box? When I'm getting the top, that should be translated along the y-axis. Comment which axis it is. Yeah, I could. What I want to do is I want to make it consistent with the actual axes Manim is using. And I think that'd make it a little easier to understand. And currently it's not. Currently it's, I think, using those axes rotated 90 degrees. But here, when I'm getting the top, I'm using get 2D box width by depth. That's correct. Then I should translate that along the y-axis. Then I have to restart that. Okay, so this needs to be rotated. Let me actually, I'm gonna comment the other ones right now so I can get just this one working. Because this needs to be rotated around the x-axis. Why is everything z equals? What do you mean by z equals? For these, it's because I want to keep track of which axes I'm operating on for each of the matrix transformations. So for example, here I have to rotate around the x-axis. Like this. And I did something wrong. Oh, I tried to add things that don't exist yet. Okay, that should be the top of the box. And it isn't scaling to a top of the box. And it isn't scaling to exactly 1. This is width by depth. Oh wait, is this right? Yeah, this is right. Because normally you look at it from here. So I move it by height over 2. I rotate it around the x-axis. And then the amount that I scale it, width, height, depth, the amount that I scale it should be like this. Now I can do width, height, and depth. I think. Okay, and now it's a perfect square. Cool. So then I have to edit all of these to do basically the same thing. So I add in the bottom. Oh. That needs to be rotated around the x-axis as well. It's actually going to be really similar to what happens with the top. It'll just be like this, rotate around the x-axis. Change this to y. And this, same thing. Only one of these should be negative, the other one should be positive. That looks like a square. Oh, this actually doesn't make sense to me. Because I'm translating this by negative height over 2. And I'm translating this by negative height over 2. Oh, this is the model matrix and the normal matrix. Yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Okay. Then the left. And I can't even see this one. Must be on top of one of the other. Oh, now I have to add it. Okay. So the dimensions of this, height by depth, that's correct. Then I need to rotate it around the y-axis, which is what it's doing. Okay, I got to let's see where this one starts. Okay, so it starts like this. It's height by depth. It looks like the height isn't right though, doesn't it? For the left. Since the height should go that way, then the depth would go into the screen. Yeah, one of these dimensions is off, isn't it? Oh, this wouldn't be the left anymore. width by depth worked perfectly. This should be width by height, shouldn't it? Top and bottom. I could do width by height. And add this one. Okay, that's the right dimensions. And then not make this the left, make this the... and add this one. Okay, that's the right dimensions. And then not make this the left, make this the front. And I can do that just by translating it along the z-axis. By depth over 2. I'll change this to front. Okay. Slightly off for some reason. Why would that happen? Okay. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find a reason why it does that. It looks like it's just slightly too high for some reason. Why would that happen? Are these the distances that I'm translating it not quite right? Minus height over 2, positive height over 2. Not too high, but it's shifted. I was saying too high as in, this is the y-axis. Normally you look at the screen like this when you start Manim. And so I meant too high as in too far along the y-axis. But it'd be weird to say like y equals negative like 0.01. Did that help? It didn't. Maybe something else is doing that. If I do this, I'm going to add in that box. Nanospace container. Add that in and just not do anything else from there. Well, I will add the axes. Basically just won't... Wait, when did this happen? Oh. Basically just won't start the animation. Wherever that happens. Where does that happen? Here. Updated coordinate space. Yeah, I'm just going to add the Manim coordinate space. Which I don't think I actually need updated coordinate space at all. I think this will still be animated. Yeah, it is. But anyway, I'm not going to animate it right now. Yeah, and it's still shifted. That's so weird. Um, why would that happen? I'm gonna do y equals like -1 just to see if this moves it. Oh. And it does. So I did 0.1. And it does. So I did 0.1. Did I shift it the wrong way? Do we need any rotation? I don't think so. I think this should be centered on the axis. But now it looks like that was too much. I did 0.05. It could be possible that it does need rotation, or either it needs it. So now it lines up perfectly. Maybe this is a bug with how I'm getting the 2D box. So I called get 2D box. 2 cylinders. A height geometry and a width geometry. 2 widths, 2 heights. Then I just shift those by the width. I shift those by the height. Why is 0.05 the radius? No, the radius is 0.03. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna say 2do or something. Because that's really weird. Anyway, now I'm gonna do the back. So I'm gonna call this back, 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 back. You're gonna add it in as the back. And this will be the exact same thing as the front, really? The same transformations. So no rotation here. And this is going to be a negative, z equals depth, negative depth over 2. Oh, well, that didn't work. Oh, the dimensions are wrong. This should be width by height. Okay, let's try that. And this is a little shifted. Oh, it needs the same thing. And this Y. Wait, why did that not work? Put this. Put it there. I keep forgetting that this file isn't watched. Okay, that was the wrong way. Let's make this positive. Just because. Okay, now it matches up. Like, it matches up perfectly, too. It's like it was exactly 0.05 it needed. Well, not exactly. It does look like very slightly off, but I have no idea why it would do that. Okay. I'm trying to figure that out later, I guess. Yeah, just not sure. But I did that, and I'm gonna here, I guess. Yeah, just not sure. But I did that, and I'm gonna try to add the animation back. Okay, and that's working perfectly. So now the scene is from here, and we're morphing that into the 1x1 box for the projection matrix. Cool. Where did that text go? The text is just not there. Weird. If I... There, it's back. It probably got shifted really far. So this is really good. I wonder if it's worth it to, denote where one unit is in each of these axes. Probably not. Probably not right now. I will do that at a different time. Okay. So that was good for the projection matrix. I might end up going back and adding a translation to this, but for now, this is definitely good. Don't do it. Good call. So let me hit up. Let me go to the file I've been writing. Okay, so projection matrix, view matrix might be a little hard, but I think that's the next thing I need to do. No, I should actually do model matrix first. Yeah, I should do model matrix first. Because the view matrix is a type of model matrix. So I think the sort of visualization that would be helpful here would be to see an object and then to see the same object with a model matrix being applied. So let me just go straight to this at first. And I'm gonna fancy schmancy. Oh, it should just be model visualization. Yeah. Great, so there's nothing here. I want to add those axes. And actually, this should all be in a helper, adding the axes. Yeah, it should just be like length. Oh man, and Actually, to check that that's working properly, I have to look at the projection again. So go back to that. Yeah. Let me try this X, Y, Z. I just take a length. I should probably take colors too. So I can take out everywhere it says tutorial utils. Oh, tutorial utils dot self dot render.